Jesus, alright. You don't mean it. And I don't wanna try no more now. It's too late. I don't wanna hear you say you're sorry. It's too late. I don't wanna hear no more excuses. It's alright. See, I'ma walk away 'cause I'd rather be alone now. It's alright. Girl, you better recognize. Yeah, I got it.
Like It or Not with Benjamin Dixon starts now.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Like It or Not, where we're free to tell the truth
and not care who doesn't like it.
It is today, what is Thursday, April 22nd, 2021. Thanks so much for joining us. Ooh, yeah, we made it.
Friday Junior.
Is it Friday Junior?
Friday Junior.
It's Friday Junior.
Friday Eve.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is Friday Eve, and boy, I need the weekend, man. I've had a rough 24 hours, but I'm here, and we are ready to rock and roll. Rebecca, right?
Yeah. Are we ready to rock and roll? It's been a tough one. It's like every time I get on the show lately, my voice has been trying to escape me. I already have like a really raspy voice. Now, whatever Ben had is like has transferred over to me digitally because now I feel like
your voice is
digitally, right?
It's just it's trying to leave me.
I just know it's time to get out of this pandemic. I think it's time. It's time. I get my shot on Friday, tomorrow, which is good, right? But it's just the pandemic is a lot, man. I think everything came down on me yesterday, and I'm like, holy crap! Like we are in a very difficult position in this country as Black people. We're in a difficult position as people in general, and it got to me yesterday. So I'm glad to be on the air with y'all this morning. What you got? You got a good story for me, Rebecca? You always got good stories for us.
Yeah, we're gonna start with a cute little story. Before we do that, have you guys been playing thermostat games with your thermostat? Because of the
yes.
If
I
y'all
was so goddamn heat on last night I was so goddamn mad. I'm like, goddamn it.
I was gonna freeze last night. I said I ain't cutting on this heat. This bill was low this month. I'm just gonna put some socks on. I'm gonna double up on the linens and just that's it. Cause
that's it.
I just didn't have it. I didn't have it for I think that's what's also getting to me.
I slept in short pants, heavy socks, and a hoodie. So I was
because you're confused like the weather. I get it.
Yeah.
You don't know what to
hoodie
do.
and heavy socks.
Hoodie, heavy socks, and short pants though. But yeah, no, it's thermostat games. Like this morning, I thought I was going to go step outside for a walk this morning, and it was entirely too cold. I said the devil is a liar. I went back inside went right back inside of the house. So anyway,
do you see me with this turtleneck? I have no business. None. No business to put on somebody's turtleneck, but I needed to make sure I was warm this morning, and then I got on gym pants. But like I needed to make sure that from the head to chest, I was, warm but presentable. Because, just last week I was all legs, and now I got to come here and be covered up. This is not what I signed up for. This is not what I've been working out for.
But this is the weather in Atlanta, though. This is how it does here. Like you don't. I don't know, like in Boston, we had
Black folks, we always forget. And then when it come up, we be like, was it this hot last year? Because I know it wasn't this hot. I know it wasn't this cold.
Because what wasn't this cold last year?
It confuses you. It absolutely confuses you because it gets so hot here so quickly. And then the next day it's so cold so quickly. Like up north, it's just steady. Like you're not going to have like a 80-degree day in April. You might have snow in April, but you're not going to have an 80-degree day. So you're prepared. You're prepared to be cold until it's no longer cold. Not here in Atlanta, man. It'll be 15 degrees one day, and the next day it'll be 80 degrees, and you don't know what to do with yourself. So.
And then you got pollen on top of
Then
it.
you got
rain
pollen.
a whole hurricane wants to pull up, tornado watches. It's just, and then the bugs are just like, they disappear and then they come right back. I got a bumblebee or whatever those big old little things that be flying around here, because we know there's a lot of bugs that I don't even know the names to all of them, but there's one that just sits right at my patio and just on my balcony and just be like, don't never come in, but be like, ha ha, I'm gonna mess with you. I'm about to come in, just playing. I'm about to come in, just playing.
Dancing in front of your window like, yeah.
Just ridiculous, just flying right here. Just I hate it. I hate it so much.
Listen, the bugs here, that's the next level. I don't know what's worse, the bugs or the pollen, because the pollen is like
pollen.
Like you can see,
you can hide from the pollen.
You can
hide from the pollen though.
Yeah,
right.
You can't hide from bugs.
You can't hide from them bugs.
Those bugs can find you anywhere you are.
Yes, you can have everything sealed, and then you look over and be like, what is that on my wall?
Right.
Yes.
I had the same wasp trying to build a wasp nest on my outdoor patio for a week straight. I'm like, bro, you are resilient. I done sprayed that thing with bleach, spray, everything. Came back looking at me, what up, bro?
Yeah.
What up? And I finally I got his ass down.
The body of mine is on the
ass.
floor. The body of mine is on the floor right now. I went to the store because I was like, I'm not going to sit on my patio and let this bumblebee attack me from here. And this wasp that's like, I can see it's creating its honeycomb situation over here or whatever they create because it looks like a honeycomb. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, you're not going to do that. So I went to the store, got some Raid for that specific type of animal because it's an animal to me. That specific type of animal.
This creature,
sprayed it. It's an insect. Well, I sprayed it and then I saw it die and I had to do a funeral for it and I left it right there.
What is wrong with you?
Funeral.
The whole funeral.
I was like, I apologize to your family, but you got to go.
That's what time it is,
Yeah.
Rebecca. That's you got to be careful because you might get some calls from Peter. Yeah. You might get some calls because, you know
Rebecca out here killing animals and shit. Okay, Rebecca.
Yeah.
But good morning. We are here.
Good morning.
We have stories. Let's go ahead and get into them. Let's start with the Stacey Abrams right here in Georgia, who's defending voting rights. On Tuesday, Stacey Abrams testified before a Senate Judiciary Committee hearing on voting rights. While there, she was questioned particularly harshly by Texas Senator John Cornyn, as well as Louisiana Senator John Kennedy. Here's our first clip of former Georgia candidate for governor and voting rights campaigner Stacey Abrams being questioned by the Louisiana senator.
You've called it a racist bill, am I right?
I think there are provisions of it that are racist, yes.
Okay. Tell me specifically, just give me a list of the provisions that you objected.
It shortens the federal runoff period from 9 weeks to 4 weeks.
Okay.
It restricts the time a voter can request and return an absentee ballot application.
Right.
It requires that a voter have a photo identification or some other form of identification that they're willing to surrender in order to participate in absentee ballot process.
If I can stop you, that's where they're going to not comparing signatures, but to voter ID?
Yes, sir. And as Ms. Eiffel has pointed out, we would become only the fourth state in the nation to require voters to put at risk their identity.
What else? What else?
It eliminates over 300 hours of Dropbox availability.
Okay, what else?
It bans nearly all out-of-precinct votes.
Bans what? I'm sorry?
It bans nearly all out-of-precinct votes.
Okay.
Meaning that if you get to a precinct and you are in line for 4 hours and you get to the end of the line and you are not there between 5 and 7 p.m.,
okay,
what else? You have to start all over again.
Is that everything?
No, it is not. No, sir. It restricts the hours of operation because it now, under the guise of setting a standardized timeline, it makes it optional for counties that may be may not want to see expanded access to the right to vote. They can now limit their hours. Instead of those hours being from 7 to 7, they're now from 9 to 5, which may have an effect on voters who cannot vote during business hours during early voting. It limits the
Okay, I get the idea.
Yes.
But do you get the idea though? Because you questioned her. He questioned her time and time again because he didn't understand. And the funny thing is, we know that Senator John Kennedy out of Louisiana, we know he does understand exactly what she was saying, but he thought if he kept saying, and what else, that she would back down. But she kept coming with more. And that made it even more sad because it's like, there's so much that you guys are doing to prevent voter suppression, to create voter suppression. And you have created it, and this is what. And all of a sudden, when she was, continuing to go on, all of a sudden he gets it because he knows that she continued. It would have been a laundry list full of examples. But during the same hearing, Abrams was also questioned by Texas Senator John Cornyn, who asked if the Georgia legislature made deliberate attempts to, quote, suppress the minority vote. Let's take a look.
My first question is for Ms. Abrams. Ms. Abrams, is the Georgia election law that Speaker Jones talked about, is it a racist piece of legislation?
I think there are components of it that are indeed racist because they use racial animus as a means of targeting the behaviors of certain voters to eliminate limit their participation in elections.
So you believe that the Georgia legislature made deliberate attempts to suppress the minority vote?
Yes.
Georgia has a no excuse absentee voting provision in that law. As Ms. Jones, I think, has said, certainly in her written statement, Connecticut, Delaware, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, and New York do not have any no excuse absentee voting. Are the voting laws in Connecticut, Delaware, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, and New York racist?
I would say that they are behind the 8 ball and they need to be improved, and that's why I support the For the People Act voting rights provisions that would expand access to no excuses absentee voting. But as we explained earlier, it is how these behaviors are targeted. The state of Georgia targeted communities that used these resources for the first time to their benefit, and thus, after 15 years of Republican-dominated use of absentee balloting, it suddenly changed its mind about the utility, the processing, the timeliness.
So you do think, excuse me, we only have 5 minutes to ask questions, and so if you would respond to my question. So just to be clear, you think Connecticut, Delaware, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, and New York that have more restrictive, no excuse absentee voting, you believe those election laws are racist?
Senator, I'm responding to your question. Your question is...
No, Ms. Adams, you're filibustering. Could you answer yes or no?
I'm not. Sir, I'm not filibustering. I'm stating very specifically. I believe that restrictive voting laws should be addressed by the For the People Act. I believe that the Georgia decision...
So just to be clear, whether they're racist or not, you think they need to be changed because you disagree with them, right?
No, that is not what I've said.
Okay.
I have said that those laws that were changed in 2021 in response to an increased use by people of color, laws that were put in place by Republicans 15 years ago, and they were perfectly satisfied with the utility of those laws until they were used successfully by people of color. The intent matters.
And you think
the intent behind these laws matter in the state of Georgia.
They so rude.
Why does she have to continue? Black women are on the front lines, and yes, I made it black women. Black women are on the front lines doing this, and men are, this white men are literally just ripping into her because he literally sees her as nothing. She's not, like, why is she here? Why is she fighting for this? Like, he's speaking to her like she's trash. Like, she has no place, no authority, no voice.
Never mind the fact that she's the most influential politician, like the work that she did leading up to the election. I mean, everything that she's done since the gubernatorial race was stolen from her here in Georgia, she's been on the ground, like, changing the world in her own way, very specific ways. And of course, they're going to show her this kind of disrespect because to them, she's just another black woman.
Mm-hmm. And black, they don't they look at them like, who are you? Who sent you? Is there a black
she
man?
read them.
At least can we have a black man to have a conversation? At least that. Like
she filled him in on everything that he was confused. She was like, listen, it's just like, listen, I said it. I'm not filibustering. I'm very clear. Like the intention, we have to look at the intention of these laws, and the intention of the laws is absolutely no question. It is to suppress the minority vote because they can't let color folks vote. Because if we are free to vote at the level that they're trying to stop us from voting at, then they'll never be in power ever again. And so, of course, he knows. You said it about John Kennedy from Louisiana. He absolutely knows exactly what she's talking about. They absolutely know these voter suppression laws are there specifically to suppress the power of black people specifically. They know that, but they have to play these games and say, oh, well, is this law in Massachusetts racist? She said they're behind the times, and they are behind the times. But they're trying to deflect from the fact that they know exactly what they're doing is trying to stop black people from voting.
And it's as simple as that. I don't know why they tried to make it seem like it was rocket science, but if we try to make it seem like it's rocket science, it'll confuse the people, and it'll confuse Stacey Abrams, and it'll show our point that everything that we're doing isn't created in racism or white supremacy, and it isn't voter suppression. But literally, Stacey Abrams made it plain and simple, no matter how he tried to throw a curveball at her. And that's why I say, like I said yesterday, that they're dumb. They being the radical right, or these Republicans, or these people who literally are racist, and they think that we're going to still play those games that we used to play back in the day and keep our head down while they call us boy and girl. And no, we're not doing that. You guys,
that's when America was great.
Exactly. That's when America was great, and they're looking for it to be that way again.
Yeah.
So they're doing whatever. They are going to work 17,000 jobs, leave their kids at home, potentially go and get coronavirus, just to make sure black folks can't vote. All of that.
They are undermining the very pieces of legislation that they put into play, like the early voting, right? The vote by mail, the drive-through voting. They're willing to undermine the very things that they put into play in order to help them. They're taking it away because black folks in Georgia started using them more efficiently than they did, and we won. And as soon as we won, they're like, oh, hell no, we can't do this again. We can't permit this. But anyway.
Yeah. And that to them was like, the world is over. Oh, my God, they found a way. Even though we created that way, and they did it the way that we created, they still found a way to win. But it wasn't created for them to win, though. Yeah. And we
didn't mean to give you guys the tools to actually defeat us. That's what they're saying.
Because we was like, bet, mail-in? Shoot, I wasn't trying to leave the house anyway.
We weren't trying to do the pandemic. In the pandemic.
I ain't got to go far. Just jump that thing off.
A whole Pandarosa outside.
It's a whole panini. Like, we are not trying to do that. Like, no.
They let me vote online, so my ballot was an online vote, so I'm good. Stop playing.
Exactly.
Listen, if they make it in other countries, like, I don't mean to go on a tangent, but in other countries, like, you're automatically registered to vote. Right. In same day registration in some states, right. In this very country, some same day registration. We make it difficult to vote because they understand that those are the keys to the entire kingdom. Everything that we're doing out here is fine. It's good. Media is cool. That's fine. That's good. Sports. That's fine. That's good. You can get real rich. You can become real famous. But the real keys to the kingdom goes through Washington, D.C. And if we have the ability to vote in the type of people that we need to be in power, then that changes this entire country dramatically. And they're not going to stand by and let us get some actual power in this country. Absolutely not. Not without making it, difficult. The least they're going to do.
They want to make it impossible. But do they not know that, Whitney Houston is our fairy godmother? Impossible. It's possible. Listen, it's possible. We don't do impossible around here. We do it's possible. R.I.P. to Whitney. But, so we will always find a way. Okay. No matter what, we will find a way. We'll find a way to get to the club if we need to. We'll take the bus. We'll find a way to feed our kids if we ain't got no food. We cutting up hot dogs. Y'all eating government cheese. Y'all gonna be fed. We're gonna make make sure that we are included in that number. It's marching. People got killed for this. People were raped because they wanted. Let's not forget the history of it. So if you think that this little, and it's little to a lot of people that like us who are Black, who know the history when it comes to voting. So, Fannie Lou Hamer did not literally get dragged and talked down to and beat for us to sit here and be like, oh, they're making these rules, let's back down. No. Yeah. Park Cannon didn't get dragged the other day just for us to sit here and allow that to happen. And that's Representative Park Cannon out of Georgia. So we're not letting it just happen. We are fighters and we're going to continue and we're going to find a way. We're probably going to be like, let's meet up for brunch before we go to the voting line so that we can make sure that our tummies are full and fed. We're taking today off. Let's save a sick day so that we can make sure that we have a day off. There will always be a way. Trust me. We will always make a way. And it sucks that we have to be like, oh, what don't kill me, make me stronger type vibes. But if this is going to help in some way, shape, or form in the future, it may not be tomorrow's, may not be in the next 10 years. We don't know when, but this is going to make a difference because Fannie Lou Hamer didn't know what her legacy was going to be and how that was going to change things. So
that's a fact.
Yeah.
We'll make a way. What did I say? I said last week, man, we'll find a way to overcome, but damn it, I'm tired of having to overcome. I am
tired too.
I'm tired of having to overcome.
But goddamn it, we gonna overcome.
In a minute, we're gonna let y'all just have the kind of raggedy country y'all want to have, right? I mean, can you imagine what this country would be if Black folks stopped trying to make it a more perfect union? Like if we legit just sat down and be like, hey, y'all have it, this country would have destroyed itself 1,000 times over. But we shall overcome, but I'm tired of having to overcome all the damn time.
I'm tired of you just reminded me that we had to sing that every convocation. We shall overcome. I'm like, dude, is this a funeral?
Right.
Every time we got together, we shall overcome.
Why? And then it was for the new kids because I'm happy. No,
happy today. No, we're not. I'm not happy today.
I'm just not.
I'm just barely here today. Don't sing that today. I'm not overcoming anything today. We shall overcome what? This headache y'all giving me?
Okay.
Oh, man. All right. Anyway, James, take us to a quick break. We have a whole lot more to cover when we get back. More Like It or Not after this.
Good morning again, everyone. And welcome to Like It or Not. It's your boy DJ Exclusive rocking out with this good music. Good morning, mama. Good morning, sensation. Hope y'all are doing good in the chat room. Shout out to everybody that's taking us in. So make sure that you hit that like button, share, comment, subscribe. You know when Like It or Not is going down. And also make sure that if you have not joined the Patreon, join patreon.com/like-it-or-not. Patreon.com/like it or not, y'all. Good morning, y'all. Alicia, good morning. Melanie, good morning. Savage Sweetheart, good morning. Chuck Diesel, shout out to the best moderators ever on YouTube, y'all. Good morning. Lateef, shout out, brother. You got this shot, man. Let us know how you feel. Let us know how it go, okay? Courtney, good morning. Pfizer. Brenda, good morning, Brenda. Mark S. Good morning.
Let the thought of us sweeter. Nothing left but all our pictures. Was praying for possibilities. Lately you got the best of me. We're running out of space between good
Black Dragon, Purple Rain Hearts. Good morning, y'all. Laura, good morning. Brent Johnson is in the building. Senpai. Brother Goku. Power up, bro. Good morning. Shout out Rebecca Burns. Rebecca, good luck on your job interview. You got this, sister.
I can't take it anymore. So I stay here and hold my heart when you walk out the door. Made a promise to myself and I repeat it in my head.
June 1969, good morning. One Lost Spirit, good morning. Good morning. Nat A, Nick, I see y'all. Good morning, y'all.
And me and you set your mind free. Made a promise to myself this time I will.
Patricia, good morning, Patricia.
Where there's a will, yeah, there's a way. With every smile, with every tear, I know I will make it. I'm gonna see you brighter day. Oh.
Make sure that y'all follow our social media pages, y'all. Make sure you follow the social media pages. Like it or not. What is it? Like it or not social? Look up Like It or Not on Facebook and Instagram. Like It or Not on Facebook and Instagram, y'all. Like It or Not show. There y'all go.
Time goes by and yet I wonder, why do we put each other through hell? Why can't we just get over our...
Y'all make sure that y'all hit that like button, share, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff, y'all. And we're going to get back to some good news, y'all. Welcome back to the screen, Rebecca and Ben.
James, you got us moving, man.
No, I do what I can.
Welcome back, folks. Welcome back. And there it is.
Are you fading us out or are we just vibing?
We just vibing.
I need to know what's happening here.
It's just a vibe. We just vibing early in the morning. Trying to process all this stupid stuff that happens in this country, right?
Yep.
Processing it a little bit at a time. And but we do a good job of it, Rebecca.
We're doing a good job, you know, in between our mental breakdowns. We pull up like I'm ready to be on my bullshit.
Okay. Right.
Yeah, yesterday was crazy. I might have, went a little crazy. A mental breakdown. I probably went and disappeared on people, cut somebody out, sent a text message, and then turned my phone off. But today I'm back on my bullshit.
I hate you,
Rebecca. Just like, why you got to put all my business out there, Rebecca?
Because I know that's me too. It's tourist season, so I know there's a lot of us out here doing the same thing. But Ben, this week has been a tough one. It's been look at the stories we've been covering, and we got to come back and be back on our BS. That's just our life. That's just the cards that were handed to us. But it's I rather fight for a good day than succumb to my bad days. So
yeah. No, man, I had it was a rough one. I owe a couple people. I didn't show up to a couple things yesterday, and so it's one of those days where you just gotta. Somebody said
your own business out there. Nobody was putting that. So I was talking about my own story, but you can go ahead and put yours out there.
Right? Didn't he do that? Because I'm like, I know I heard Rebecca. I'm like, wait a minute, Ben. Okay, never mind.
No. It's just honestly like I think we need to pause and really reflect on what we've gone through as a country. Right. What we go through as individuals collectively, though. Also, like this pandemic isn't a small thing. Like we laugh about it, we joke about it, we give it nicknames, we call it the Rona, the Pandarosa. We say a lot of stuff, but we've come through a traumatic time for us as individuals, as us as a country, and us as Black people particularly. Like it's been doubly impactful for us. So I think it's okay. Like pause and reflect and realize that you gotta recognize what you're in. If you don't recognize what you're in the middle of, how can you ever successfully get out of it, right? And I think we collectively are in the middle of a pandemic where so many things have changed, but not enough of the things that are necessary to change have changed, right? Like we're still fighting some of the same exact battles while we're fighting this new battle of this pandemic. So it gets to you sometimes. So that's it.
I had to sit back and and reflect on it and realize and understand that, hey, this is not going anywhere. Even though with the vaccines, it's still not going anywhere, because if you really think about it, let's put it into perspective. In another few months, 6 months to a year, we got to do this all over again and get vaccinated and keep going. Yeah. So I think once we get that in our head that this is here, And I think now this is our new normal. And even if it's not the new normal, I don't ever think anything's ever going to go back the same. Just gotta stick with it, roll with the punches. We have to adjust and adapt and move on.
Yes, and we have to make sure, because I was just saying yesterday that I found myself, in home for a year, and I said I'm not doing that again, and I'm not going to allow the everydays of what's happening to make me feel down. And yes, these murders will affect me and they will hurt me naturally because I look like the people they're killing, right? Because we have family members who are the age of the people that they're killing. It's something that touches us deeper than people on the outside of being Black can understand and fathom. So, but I'm going to keep fighting because I'm not going to keep myself in the house and be more depressed. And I'm not going to live in fear. I've let the whole of last year be just consumed with fear. And I get why, because we were in something that we've never been in, especially in my adult life, and something in that way. And then at the same time, and being worried about stepping outside and not knowing if I'm going to come back home. But I don't want that fear to cripple me and make me feel like I can't do. And then that fear to speak to other places that I may be insecure about or that I may be hurt about, and let that now come out and rear its ugly head. And then all of a sudden we just can't do nothing.
Yeah.
you know? So
and that's and as we were covering the Ma'Khia Bryan story yesterday, it really, that story and our responsibility to cover it really did something to all of us yesterday. Because not only fighting against, when you have to fight against white supremacy, that's one thing. But when you have to fight against people who look just like you forwarding white supremacy because they're like, oh, well, she had a knife. Yeah, come on, people. Like we've been in this long enough to realize that nobody's story is that simple. And it's most unfortunate that her story is now a national story, and we know her name, because she's been killed by the police. And we're going to dovetail her story with the overly simplified language that police officers use. Like we're going to really buy into the police narrative, because if it had been any other child of any other race, like if she had been a little white girl, nobody would have just pulled the trigger. They would have taken a minute to ascertain the situation. The thought would have entered into their head that, wow, this little white girl must be in danger. How do we save her? But they didn't give Ma'Khia that kind of benefit of the doubt. They just saw a threat. And that messed with me, man. That really messes with me. And it messed with LeBron James. He got out there and got in trouble himself a little bit with one of his tweets. But anyway, it's just a lot going on. Anyway, sorry.
No, it definitely it affected each and every one of us. And that's why yesterday I got super emotional, because I'm like, I don't understand why you guys being the public, and not literally you guys that are watching, but the public, who did watch our stream yesterday and comment under our story and say, but she had a knife. But I can show you over God knows how many videos of knife wielding people walking up to police officers or having a confrontation with somebody else, and the police officer who is trained to put their life on the line to de-escalate or to subdue, right? Is doing that job. Okay? So, and we have to understand too, a pivotal portion of that story is she called the cops. Another pivotal portion of that story is within less than 30 seconds, the cop starts shooting. In order for the cop to shoot her in the position that she was in, she had to turn around, right? She didn't even have an opportunity to comply. So let's look at that. When you want to say what we saw was what I will never ever be okay with the cops shooting down anybody without trying to de-escalate or do the job they've been trained to do. Okay? All right? I will never be okay with that. Ever.
Yeah.
So That's just how I feel about that. That was a child that deserved to live. And if she would have done anything, or she would have had to pay the price for whatever she did. But let's not forget, she was defending herself. She was about to be jumped. Like, as the story continues to develop, like, we have to understand that no matter what, this was a straight A student, guys, like, that could have been going through anything. She was in the foster care system. I have a best friend who I know was jumped every single day. A knife and tried to fight her foster care brothers and sisters to save herself. So when TikTok videos of just hair tutorials and her chubby cheeks.
Can y'all hear me?
Knife for her hand, so she knew.
Okay.
All
right, y'all stay tuned. We got some technical difficulties going on, but we are still here, so we're going to get into some music real quick and get everything taken care of real fast, y'all. Make sure that y'all hit that like button, share, comment, and subscribe. And because I just know Rebecca was saying some prolific stuff, I'm like, oh my gosh, and it was freezing.
Falling in love with love, but I'm breaking my habit cause you turn me on to my heart's desire.
Good morning, everyone. Always going to keep it flowing. That's what I'm here for. So if there's ever an issue, we're going to have that backup. Bubba's going to be like, hey, I got you.
My love's for real. I need to show you right now. Take a look at me now. I can't explain for the life of me what you did to me when I met you last.
Kevin, good morning, Ever. Good morning, y'all. Maybe that was the universe saying we needed to take a break real quick. I think that's what that was. All right, look like we have everything situated, y'all, so we're going to get back to, we're going to try this again, okay? Because I just know Rebecca was over there dropping some dimes, like in.
Just to wrap it, because we could wrap it and get to the story related to Ma'Khia Bryan, but it wasn't me though, guys. Just want to say it was me and Ben together collectively.
Right? Yeah, it was both. It wasn't just Rebecca this time.
It was both of us, but no, yeah. Just I really was just saying nothing that I'm gonna stand by this, because if I follow what media is saying and mainstream media is saying, I'll fall right into that trap and say, oh my God, somebody had to shoot her. I'll fall right into that trap, and I'm so grateful that I have come so far in this thing covering these type of stories that, I can look at it and be able to remove myself from what everybody else is saying and feel it. Because what I see, I know a lot of the outrage is not as much when it comes to Black women or, Black girls when they're shot down and things like that. So we got to stay on this like Breonna Taylor, because, and it's so funny because when you see Ma'Khia Bryan, she kind of looks like Breonna Taylor, like what she could have grew up to be, those things, but they took both of those women's lives, both the little girl and the woman's life. And there is no excuse. There is just no excuse. There's just none. There's none. And people will try to find it. Somebody wrote me on Twitter yesterday and said, well, you would have never even said her name if this would have never happened. You're right. And because it happened, I am going to say her name. Such a beautiful name.
What does that even make sense? That doesn't even make sense. Why would they?
It was a white person was saying, if she didn't attempt to kill someone, and I was like, that's the best that you got, sis, because that doesn't faze me. Whatever you, my block ministry is real. My block ministry is very real.
We're not given the benefit of the doubt of context.
Yes.
Right. Nobody cares that this child was the one who actually called the police, and how terrified does a child have to be to pick up the phone and call the police themselves?
Nobody cares about that.
Nobody cares.
Detail.
Nobody cares that, that she was in a situation where she had to fight for her life. And so now that she's fighting for her life, now she is just dismissed by the entire country as somebody, oh, she had a knife. Well, yeah, I wish she would have had a gun because she probably would have lived. Because, they respect guns in this country, right? Every gunman that has been taken into custody has been taken into custody. Apparently, it's safer for you to protect yourself with a gun than it is a knife in this country, because Dylan Roof got taken alive, right? The shooter out in Boulder, Colorado, who killed 10 people, got taken alive. Kyle Rittenhouse, he got taken alive. But, in this case, everybody's like, oh, well, she had a knife, so she deserved it. I just can't imagine for the life of me to have my life story be told based on the worst moment in my life.
Yeah.
And that's what they're doing with this little girl.
And, and I want to say this because everybody's asking, like, what's my opinion and what's my thoughts on it? It's gotten to the point, y'all, that the desensitized,
yeah,
okay, to a lot of this now. And I'm not gonna lie to y'all. It's just, you wake up, another killing. It's like it's the norm because it's happened again already within 24 hours. So honestly, and I haven't even watched the video. I saw one piece of the video, didn't even watch anymore. I really don't care to see it. And yeah, maybe if she may have been in the wrong, whatever it is, I don't, at the end of the day, there could have been more done to prevent killing a 16-year-old girl. And at the end of the day, that's all the hell we're talking about. Okay? That's the whole point. There are other ways to de-escalate. We don't have to always go to pointing a gun at somebody and firing 4 shots. You could have shot in the air. You could have shot in the leg. You could have shot in the arm. You could have even shot the goddamn knife out of her hand.
Right.
You could have even used a taser.
They could have used a taser
to make it even better.
No, but everybody, because everybody's an expert. Everybody's a taser
everybody's a goddamn expert.
Everybody's an expert on how to be a police officer. And they said, and they literally were saying online, it's, when, the taser wouldn't be able to reach, or the taser, wouldn't have done what it needed to do, or the taser was not what they said in that, in that particular state, that the girl having a knife, right? Ma'Khia having a knife. This was what they were saying. And Ma'Khia having a knife in that state means that it's a deadly force and you can use another deadly force against it, right? Yeah. But then somebody put out, the rules have actually changed, y'all. They said that you can actually carry a knife and you can carry brass knuckles. And, people are experts on this thing. So they're going to find any excuse that's exactly what the police officers wanted, was to put that video out, have us just see that visual of the knife. That's it. See her. And if she wanted to stab that girl, she would have stabbed that girl. What she was doing was holding it and getting ready to whatever. And when she did turn around, no opportunity to comply. No opportunity to say, they're trying to hurt me. No opportunity for any of it. None. Just 4 shots to a baby girl's chest. Now, to the adults that were surrounding her.
That's it's so much I want to say about that part, because why the hell did y'all even allow that to escalate?
Yeah.
Why the hell weren't y'all doing what y'all supposed to do?
And that's what tells me the community that she was in, that environment that she was in, had to be something that was toxic.
Yep. Yeah. And black people, okay, y'all, we ain't gonna get shit done in this country if we don't get together and do it, man. We have to do it together. Okay, we already got enough cops killing us. We can't kill each other, man. We can't do that shit no more. It's time to open these eyes, bruh.
Those people. There's a lot of places where Ma'Khia Bryan was failed.
Yeah.
A lot of places where she was failed. Those adults, they're all surprised. Oh, what do you shoot her for?
She's a kid, man.
Well, yeah. Well, why didn't y'all jump in there and do something beforehand?
Mm-hmm.
Because
take her to
honestly,
safety.
And to be honest with you, the other level of this is exactly what you're saying. Like, they were ready for they were ready for a World Star video. They thought they were filming a World Star video. They didn't realize they were filming a police murder video.
Yep.
And the fact that they allowed it to escalate to that point, yeah, everybody failed Ma'Khia.
Yep.
And now the media is failing as well by saying, oh, well, she had a knife. Do you want to take just maybe 5 minutes to contextualize? Because every mass shooter is given the nuance of what somebody said about them when they were in middle school. Oh, he was such a good boy.
Yes.
Oh, he was such a kind, he used to go to Sunday school. I'm sure Ma'Khia went to Sunday school.
Right.
He used to, he was really shy and quiet. I'm sure she was shy and quiet. Right. He had a whole YouTube channel. Well, she had a TikTok channel. Like, could you take a few minutes and to offer this child the same value in death that you give mass shooters in life?
Could you make her a person? Could you look at her as a person and the child that she was? Like when a 21-year-old guy goes to shoot something up and everybody's trying to make it seem like he's a kid, right? And Black people already are not looked at as humans or as people. And as soon as she lost her life, I didn't see. That's why Black women had to get to the forefront online and start showing this is who Ma'Khia is. This is Ma'Khia, a baby girl who loved to spray her hair up with water and show how her curls could bounce back, right? Most of her videos were hair tutorials. She put a ponytail in the front of her hair like a little girl, and had her little curls and things like that. And she would do it to different types of music, such a beautiful young girl. And what they're keep showing us is the one screenshot from the video that the police officers dropped.
Yeah, of course.
And that's her with the knife. And then her lifeless body on the floor with the knife on the floor. So
all I can see is her tennis shoes.
No.
Her tennis shoes that were like, yep. So it's just you think about this stuff that we do. Right. And the fact that this country gets to tell your story based on the worst moment of your life. And you got people who are more than happy to acquiesce and do that. They're more than happy to make sure, it's a salacious story. Oh, see, this is an example of when Black Lives Matter gets it wrong.
Oh my God, so many, but it wasn't only the white folks that did that, man. It was Black folks that said. That's what I was talking about yesterday when I was like, people are out here saying, we got it wrong this time. The police officers came to do their duty, serve and protect. Serve and protect? Like, who? Why? Do they even know who they came to protect? Did they even assess the situation? It was literally, they acted like, Black woman with knife, shoot.
Yeah.
That was it. And that's what kills me the most about this situation is that people will search for the excuses. And I don't have time for it. I told you my block ministry is real. Anybody who will find a way to justify the killing, the murder, the assassination of a 16-year-old girl defending herself can get the hell on.
Well, they're gonna dismiss you and dismiss us, and that's fine. Like they do what they want to do. But I know one thing, you guys do more due diligence with a white mass murderer than you did with this child. Yep. It took Twitter. It took Twitter to contextualize her life.
Yep.
All they saw, all Joe from Morning Joe, Don Lemon, all he saw was a scary Black woman with a knife.
Yep.
Didn't even do the same, just the same Google search that they did for Kyle Rittenhouse to find out all the good stuff they found out about him. Mm-hmm. No. It's just a Black woman with a knife. Yep. And so she deserved to die. And so anyway, it really just shows you, man, like at any point, this country can take one of our narratives, one of our lives, and just write whatever the hell they want to write about it. And you're going to have some people who look just like us. You have people who claim to be on our side who are going to back it, especially because if we're anything short of an angel, if we ever have a bad day, and
we can't have bad days.
We can't have bad days.
Well, not black folks. We can't have a bad day. It's just a man that goes to shoot up massage parlors because of whatever weirdness that he has against Asians, right? He just had a bad day.
He had a bad day. He had a bad day, Rebecca Azor.
That's it. Benjamin Dixon. That's it. But you have a bad day? No, not that baby girl who could have been having so many bad days, and all that was helping her was her TikTok videos. She, her bad days did not prevent her from getting straight A's in school. Her bad days didn't keep her from, making these TikTok videos, which was probably her only happy place, where she was making tutorials for people on how to get their hairs together. Her bad days, didn't prevent her from waking up in the morning, even though she was possibly being constantly bullied in the environment that she was in.
Yeah.
Her bad days of not being with her mom for whatever reason and being put in a system of foster care, which we know does no justice for any kid, didn't prevent her from wanting to live another day. Yeah. But on this particular day, she probably was up to her wits' end. She probably had enough and wanted to be protected while she was trying to defend herself and wait for protection to come. And all she could do was pull a knife and try to protect herself against multiple people who tried to attack her in front of adults who just thought if she gets
thought it was
up,
funny.
She gets beat up.
Yeah. Around adults who, instead of protecting her, were exploiting her.
Yeah.
Right? Because there's the man who was sitting there, he was a grown man sitting there asking, like, how you shot her? Well, bro, how you sat there and watched that whole fight escalate to what it was?
Exactly.
Exactly. So everybody failed that little sister.
And before we get out of here, I really wanted to, show the face. I don't know we showed him already, but give that officer a name, because I really want us to see and know it's Officer Nicholas Reardon. And that was he was identified on Tuesday. So on Wednesday, excuse me. But Officer Nicholas Reardon is his name, and it shows. We saw the body cam footage of him literally coming out of his squad car, not even waiting a minute to say anything. Literally, it's just what are you doing? And then boom, 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 boom. Little girl literally falls lifeless to the floor. I guess, some updates on the news is that White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki called the Columbus shooting tragic. I mean, that's something, right? She called the Columbus shooting a tragedy and said that President Joe Biden has been briefed on it. And I'll pause here real quick. He's been briefed on it, but, he's somebody who looks at due process. So he might just look at this the same way everybody else is looking at it. Well, she had a knife, So I wouldn't be surprised if we don't hear anything more when it comes to Ma'Khia Bryan from the White House, or specifically from Joe Biden. And when I say more, I mean, any empathy, that a child lost their life. So, but on Wednesday, yesterday afternoon, LeBron, as you were speaking, Ben, he tweeted out, and then he deleted a post of the officer who killed Ma'Khia Bryan, again, who's Nicholas Reardon, with the caption, "You're next, #accountability." Right. And he felt that in his shanana. He felt that in his spirit. Right. But because the rest of the world and probably the NBA knows that, hey, she had a knife, pull that tweet down. They're probably on that side of things. So he had to pull it down. But what he said is what I felt. But at the same time, because we don't have it where she is fighting for her life in a way where, and it's a knee to the neck.
Yeah.
So because she's defending herself and fighting for her life in a different manner, he may not be next. He may literally still be on the 4th next year, which sucks.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, or he'll quit or he'll leave that particular place and then be able to work somewhere else.
Yeah, yeah.
And
what was that second? Go ahead, James. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was gonna go ahead, man. Go ahead. I
was gonna ask what that second statement was, because I think LeBron, he had to come back. He made another statement, didn't he?
It was yes, he did, but it was because Tom Cotton actually tweeted his outrage over LeBron's deleted tweet, and he's tried to make it be something that he wasn't. And once one of them speak, all the little the clan comes out saying LeBron James is inciting violence against an Ohio police officer. This is disgraceful and it's dangerous. Is the NBA okay with this? And we know who owns the NBA. Is Twitter okay with this? So other extremely online conservatives, again the clan, jumped online to tweet their own outrage at LeBron James instead of the killing he attempted to shed light on. And I know David was talking about that too. He was shocked. David, our producer, was shocked that so many people weren't looking at, are you not seeing a little girl be murdered? Are we not seeing the same thing? Like, why isn't that the thing that we're looking at here? So LeBron James later commented further on this matter when he tweeted out, "I'm so damn tired of seeing Black people killed by police. I took the tweet down because it's being used to create more hate. This isn't about one officer, it's about the entire system. And they always use our words. Come on, somebody right there. They always use our words to create more racism. And I'm so desperate for more accountability." Look, you know what's so crazy, Ben? We got a little bit of accountability. We know justice is not easy to come by. So we're willing to settle for accountability because we got a little taste of it. So now we can't even scream and say, "I'm so desperate for justice." I can settle for saying I'm so desperate for accountability. Yeah. We literally had to take it down 1,000 notches to just accountability away from justice because we don't think that justice is something attainable still. We'll keep fighting for it, but what's attainable is accountability. And if we can get one officer to potentially do life in jail for a murder of one of us, then we can get another officer at least to do the same when they kill us. You know?
But yes, I do know. I do know. And what's frustrating about it is that we simply cannot convey to everyone involved, from the media. One of the most evil things in this country is the amount of power media has over the people. It's just unbelievably evil and too much power. But it's so difficult to just get them to understand the difference. The difference is that when it's a Black person, you really just have no regard whatsoever to contextualize them as a human being. Because it's just like, oh, hey, we got one, guys. Hey, look, we got somebody who is just, this was a good shoot. See what Dave or Derek Chauvin did. That was a bad cop. But this is a good cop. He shot her down in defense of somebody else, and at the same time, she was the one who called the police. That's the part, and nobody cares to offer that context. And it just shows me that this country is so powerful in that it will take you at your very worst moment and broadcast that and say, this is the extent of who you are. But let you be a white male mass shooter, and they give all the context of your childhood, of your bad day, of you just being a loner, of you being a Sunday school student, all the things that they could find for your life to give meaning to you. It's never afforded Black people when we're killed by the police or when we're killed by vigilantes.
When we look at white people in history, and when they're bad white people like Hitler, they'll go through their life and they'll create a book for you. Like, he was this when he was younger, and he was that, and he was this. Let it be a Black person. All we know is he was from a really terrible area. Family had about 12 kids. My daddy done stepped out how many times? Ooh, she done took about $5. She was a little.
His mother was on drugs. His
mama was on drugs. I mean, golly, like, she deserved what was coming to her. I mean, she was raised around that. She was dumb as a sack of rocks. Can't even read. Yeah. Lifetime created Fantasia's story for her and tried to make it seem like it was this, she grew and things like that. I feel like they highlighted too much of the fact that she didn't have a degree and not that she didn't know how to read, but they ran with that. But she wasn't the best reader, stuff like that. And then it was making everybody like, oh, she's dumb, but she can sing though. Like, it's like that. But everybody else's story comes with, wow, they went through a lot. She was young. Daddy used to rape her. Daddy used to do this, like all that. And they make us feel, but let it be a Black story being told by the media or white corporations or, whatever. It's going to be told in a way that's just how Black folks be raised. It's somebody that left the hood that made it. And that's what we get all the time. So those are the stories. Frustrating. Yeah. It is frustrating.
They love to tell white savior stories, the blind side, right? They love to tell how, he was struggling from the inner city, but Sandra Bullock came in and saved him and helped him get a chance to be a good, upstanding American. Those stories, they'll love to contextualize those stories. But somebody who was fighting for her life, being exploited by the system all the way around the board. You just think about all the different places where she was exploited. And then she feared for her life enough to call the police, and the police showed up just in time to see her as the bad guy and kill her. That's a nightmare. That's an absolute nightmare of a life. And we are all being complicit, or they are all being complicit, in that they don't care to actually even take a second to consider it from her perspective.
And at times we're complicit, like you were just saying, the Don Lemon and the people in the media. At times we too, and Black folks are complicit because there's that thing saying we have to be unbiased. And I remember living my whole entire journalistic life when I first got out of school, to feeling these stories and saying that's wrong coverage though, but having to cover it in that one way.
Yep.
Knowing that there's something extra that we're missing, but I have to do it in this particular angle because it fits the narrative of the news station and the people who own the news station. And that's the only way we can get the footage to be played on other channels and things like that. So, but now I think that we have an opportunity in what we do to not be complicit and stand by and go with the flow, even if it makes people uncomfortable. I want people to understand we have conformed mentally. It's a societal thing because we've grown and been in that system so long. It might be hard for you to shake it off and see things for what they are. But when you finally get there, and I know a lot of y'all consider yourselves woke, but I say this a lot. Some of y'all are so woke that you're really asleep. And that's the problem. Your eyes are closed. Deep. So right. I really, really, really want for people to take back their peace. And, we call out bad Black people. We call out bad white folks. We call out good ones too. Like we just understand that this system was created to pull up and shoot that little girl down without giving her an opportunity to say a thing.
Right. That's it, Rebecca. It's the fact that we're okay, that enough people are okay with what they saw in that video. And honestly, like, let's just keep it 100, man. Just imagine every single one of us. Imagine if our name is plastered across the country, because we got caught in our worst moment when we needed help. We called for help, but the help that showed up killed us, and now we're known for that.
Yeah.
Think of just the injustice, the sheer injustice that a child. It is a weight that I don't even know. It's too much for me, to be honest with you, and it should be too much for everybody. And James, you were saying we get desensitized to it, but getting desensitized to it means that it's just we can't afford to let that be okay with us. That should not sit well with us because it has to go beyond the surface. It's got to go beyond the surface. If we're simply okay with saying, oh, she had a knife, okay, cool, and then we move on, then my God, are we not 100% a part of the very system that we claim to be fighting against?
Right.
Yep. And somebody just said it. legal doesn't mean right. It doesn't. Legal.
Absolutely.
It doesn't mean it's right.
Even if it was a stand your ground state or whatever it is, you can lead lethal force because she had a knife is lethal versus lethal, whatever the hell it is. You still have better judgment that you have. Damn everything else.
And I swear, because this is where they would go. If this was a white little girl, white 16-year-old girl, they would have gone into a full investigation of how do we change the scenario that created this tragedy, right? Mm-hmm. They would have had a whole, the city council would have met together and figured out what was going on. How did this happen? How do we make sure this doesn't happen again? But no, they won't do that for Ma'Khia because it's an open and closed shut case for them because she was less than an angel. And that's all they need in this country. If you're less than perfect, then that's all they need to make you a barbarian so that they can kill you and get away with it.
Oof.
Yeah, boy.
Here we go. Unpacking. Here we go. Unpacking for y'all. We done had to unpack for a good 30 minutes now about this situation. Okay. And y'all still not gonna get it, but that's all right. That's all right. What was said was said. We said what we said, and I this is something that I will not back down from. I don't care what else news or whatever developments come out. I will not ever, and I said it once, I'm gonna say it again. I will not ever be okay with officers pulling up to the scene
and just
shooting somebody on sight without assessing a situation.
Right.
4 gunshots. 4 gunshots to the chest. So I will never be okay with that. Because when they come up and they see us defending ourselves with the weapon, and what it looks like is a thug, a grown woman fighting. That's what it looks like. People who don't matter. That's what it looks like. And that's what I will always see. So I will stand by my feelings about this. And that's that on that.
Yeah.
That's that on
Amen. That. And real quick, Mountain of Despair said, bullied child stood her ground after calling the cops and murdered. And I got other super chats to read, but definitely want to read that one because that's right. Y'all don't think people realize the amount of stuff sometimes kids that age go through. When we were in high school, we know how it was when we got bullied. I got bullied when I was in high school, middle school. But nowadays, these kids have it terrible.
Right.
Like, I know y'all see how many times a kid that's been bullied in school has committed suicide. So here it is. This young girl is getting bullied by these kids who pulled up on her. Man, in a flash, a blink of an eye, everything can change. Where you just see red and you get fed up. If you haven't gone through that, then you really need to shut the fuck up because you don't know. I've been there. Like when you get so fed up because you've been attacked and bullied and talked about and all that shit, you're gonna get tired of it, and you get to a breaking point. And I know that's what happened. She had her breaking point. There was nothing else for her to do. You get tired of it. No one's helping you. You tell the school system they're not gonna do anything. Absolutely. It happens all the goddamn time.
Absolutely.
So come on, y'all.
That's who. How many people did she tell? And and the only reason I'm gonna move off this story is because well, anyway, y'all just better recognize some. You better not be a black person out here caping for these cops killing this little girl, because it's just a little too close to home for you to be a black person trying to find a way to justify this, because your black ass will likely and could very possibly be next. Mm-hmm. So if you are a black person out here who is like, oh, well, she had a gun, and you might want to take a step back. There was, who was it? One guy who did a whole video slamming somebody, and the next thing you know, he got killed by the police. I really think that we have to pause and take into consideration what's really happening in this country. And what's really happening in this country is that the system is looking for ways, it's testing the system, it's a stress test. How much can we get away with? How many people can we allow to die from COVID-19? Mm-hmm. How many black people can we kill and still get away with it? How many different ways can we have voter suppression and get away with it? How many times can we deny them a living wage and get away with it? Every single step, it is the system testing itself to see how much they can get away with. And when we as the people start buying into the narrative and say, oh yeah, no, that's an open and shut case. Who cares what that little child was going through that made her have to call the police? And then, ooh, she got killed by the police. But who cares about that? You are 100% a part of the system. And so don't you ever complain about a shooting that you think is justified or unjust, especially if you're in this moment saying, oh, we don't have to worry about it because she was she was a threat to the other girl. I don't care about the situation. She was a threat. Open and shut case. Anyway, yeah. So anyway, that's where I was yesterday. I just kind of had a whole moment, because you think about what we do. Think about the work that we do here, right? They would love to get one of us in our worst scenarios, and then be like, Rebecca Azor was caught jumping a drawbridge trying to get to her appointment. Like, they would love to get one of those narratives about us and put it out there as big and bold as they can, because it helps protect the system. For every single one of us that they can label as a problem, that they can label as an angry black person or an angry black woman or angry black man, is for every single one of us that they can do that to, they have insulated the system a little bit more. And it's going to be harder for us to get justice for the next person that you agree was a bad shoot, because you fix your mouth to protect the system as it shot and killed a little 16-year-old girl who actually called the police themselves. That's the tragedy here. That's the compounded tragedy here. So
that's
all right.
it. I mean, what else can we say? It's unpacked. You guys have it. It's served to you on a beautiful silver platter. We served it to you just like that. We broke it down to you, God knows how many ways. And I don't know what else to say.
Patreon.com/like it or not. We're done for the public show. We're gonna go to the back. We're gonna go to the after party, and we're gonna let loose a little bit, because there's too much. It's all too much.
It's heavy. But
it's heavy.
I think that
on top of the the pandemic, and all this stuff, we need a break. So let's, Rebecca,
take it to the after party. Love you guys who've been watching. Mean it. We're grateful for you guys, and see y'all in the after party.
Right. And I'll meet y'all over there. I'm gonna read these names real quick for our new patrons, y'all. So here we go. Thank you for tuning in today. Also, y'all, we greatly appreciate y'all. Love y'all so much. So our new patrons of the week, for the day, for yesterday, we have Jonathan M. We have Larkspur M. Our new Twitch subscribers, Jam Tune, Heathen Empress, who subscribed with Prime. Come on, Heathen Empress. Brown Coat Blue, Arts Type Zero, come on, subscribe 3 months with Prime. Mad Maple Syrup, who subscribed 3 months with Prime. And let's see, Patricia Swan, who also subscribed for 3 months in advance. So shout out to y'all for subscribing and becoming a member of the fold. Y'all be welcome, y'all. Got a couple of super chats to read as well too. OG sent us a $1.99 Lion and Coffee, and Tiger says, wish me luck, y'all. I'm in the warehouse and it's 32 degrees. Doors stay open. Man, I hope you got a coat or something on, brother. And I have one more. Oh my gosh, two more. Andy from Ohio. Andy, good morning. Andy says, good morning. Laura says, homesick with kidney stones and gallstones. This makes recovery more entertaining. Rebecca, thank you. Laura, we love you. Thank you so much. Feel better soon, okay? And lastly, from Rebecca Burns, thank you for the uplifting messages every day, Rebecca. Your honesty is really refreshing and relatable. Hashtag free Rebecca. We appreciate that. Rebecca Bryan's out. Y'all make sure that y'all stay tuned, and we will see y'all at the after party. And if you're not there yet, make sure that you join patreon.com/likeItOrNot, patreon.com/likeItOrNot, where you get access to exclusive content, the after party, and the patron parties, which is going down tomorrow. So make sure that your ass is in the place. We love y'all. We mean it. We'll see y'all in the morning. And if not in the morning, we'll see y'all at the after party. Hey, and I get you back. Oh, yeah. And also, Nick sent us a super chat that said, love y'all. Thank you for all that you do. Nick, we love you. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. When I get you back, oh, yeah. I pressed the wrong button again. When I get you back, oh yeah. When I get you back, oh yeah.